So yesterday we did a video on the collapse of South Africa in terms of policing. Today we're going to look at infrastructure. And according to the South African Institute of Civil Engineering, half the stuff that we drive on, live on, drink, whatever, is certainly not fit for purpose. So Byron, let us go through this grading together and see if there's anything worth actually saving in South Africa.
Of course. So this is in relation to a report done by the South African Institution of Civil Engineering, which was published, this year. What they basically did is they gave South Africa a report card specifically in relation to the grading of its infrastructure. A being the best, E being it's not fit for purpose and it belongs in Cuba. They went through a large amount of South African infrastructure, including water reserves, clinic, hospitals, PRASA, passenger trains, and so forth. And the outcome of the report was as follows. I don't think any of this should come as a surprise. So the first is education gets a D, hospitals get a D, clinics get a D, schools get a D, electrical distribution, which for me was a surprise, apparently gets a D. Paved roads gets a D. Water reserves gets a D. Eskom generation got a D minus. Again, that came as a massive surprise to me. I would have given it an E. And PRASA got an E. Branch lines for PRASA, which as we know, they don't exist, gets an E. Unpaved municipal roads, E. And sanitation gets a E. Overall grade for South Africa, D, at risk of failure. So it's worthwhile mentioning, E basically means the place is screwed. D means it's about to be screwed, but it's okay for now.
I mean, just to understand, like an E is beyond screwed, and Eskom's not even an E, it's a D. So, and we know how screwed Eskom is. We're in the middle of load shedding right now, stage 3, and that's not even the worst. So what else is so bad that is worse than Eskom? It's very hard to fathom. But Eskom's not the worst thing in this country. It's like roads.
PRASA.
And sanitation and trains and whatever else. Unbelievable. I mean, I don't like to call it, fit for purpose or risk of failure. I just prefer to call something transformed or not yet transformed. So apparently the Gautrain is by far the best thing we have in this country. National roads, actually very good national roads. N1, N2, N6 or whatever you want to call it. Fishing harbours and ports, B. Really don't know about that one. The Eskom transmission network, apparently very good. Airports, B minus, but now that Dalimpofu runs it, probably going to go down. I mean, going to be fully transformed. Universities, education, C plus. I'm sure this was an A not too long ago. I wonder what happened there. Oh wait,
Transformation.
Yeah, they set fire and shut everywhere. And the rest is just an absolute heartache. Technical vocational training. So remember when they removed all forms of internships, right? Can't be an intern to be an electrician. Now you have to go for vocational training, and your vocational training has been completely transformed where electricians or aspiring electricians don't even have electricity to work during the course of their vocational training. So just transformation all around. What else is there to say?
Yeah, so we can take from this that South Africa's basic infrastructure as run by the state is basically collapsing. As Rob once said, Rob Hersoff, the South Africa's billionaire, we are not governed by our superiors, we are governed by idiots. So before we look at the positives of all this, a word from our sponsor, Bitwise.
Let's be honest, Bitcoin is by far the best performing asset of the last decade, and a lot of people are using Bitcoin to hedge themselves against government overreach and fiat currency debasement, otherwise known as inflation. And that's why the guys over at Bitwise have developed their latest product, Sat Stacker. Essentially, you set a debit order, you accumulate Bitcoin every single month. Your Bitcoin won't be on an exchange, it won't be in anyone's hands, it will be directly deposited into your private wallet. So accumulate Bitcoin today, and every single month you set the price, you set the frequency, Sat Stacker does all the rest. In order to get started, click the link in the description below. And we are back. So what is the positives of a failing infrastructure? Well, as always, it's creating order through private means. Universities are shit, Sakli gebuilde university. Water, sewage systems are shit. Go to any farm in the country, they got boreholes, they are set up, they don't have any water problems whatsoever. Those who take action don't suffer the consequences of transformation. Unfortunately, a lot of people, including my suburb, which is a nice and rich suburb because I'm half Arab, the people around me just don't get it. But they just don't get being prepared to be state-proof. And a lot of people are just nonchalant about these things happening. We're not going to have water in cities very soon. And the assumption that we will be is going to kill you and your business. And you shouldn't allow that to happen.
Yeah, whenever we say this, we get the comments from everybody on the channel, and they all go, "Oh, how do I be state-proof?" Frequently highlight this, as do you, Ramon. There is a risk in the modern world, and that is, as a human species, we have outsourced all of our well-being and all of our needs to government. In doing that, we have made ourselves slaves of government. If government don't like you, they turn off your water. If government don't like you, they turn off your electricity. If they don't like you, they turn off your sanitation. They deny you access to basic things. Infrastructure such as airports. If they don't want you to fly, they don't let you fly. And this has been seen all across, even now, the Western progressive world. The Western progressive world is adopting China's communist type social credit scoring policies that deny you access to your fundamental needs. Why be relying on these people? Electricity is a great example. Electricity is very, very expensive in Europe. It is only going to get more expensive across the world. South Africa isn't the only country with load shedding. California has load shedding, which also happens to have one of the most expensive electricity grids in the world. Are we seeing a pattern yet? We're blessed in a country where we have solar. So get solar. Okay, yes, it might be a long-term ambition. Maybe it's only one panel every 6 months, but make a start. Don't see this as being a negative. Don't see it as something to despair from. Where the state retreats, it gives you the opportunity to grow, to develop your own infrastructure. And in sowing your own culture, have your own values and ideals independently of the state. And that's what South Africa has as an opportunity.
Right, and we have that in spades. Like we always say, South Africa is sort of 30 years behind the rest of the world, but in some ways 30 years ahead. Because we do think that the nation state is sort of coming to an end in the next 50 to 100 years. It's just the returns of violence are not large enough anymore for the nation state to exist. So we think city-states will become a real thing in time to come. South Africa is a perfect blueprint for that sort of pioneering spirit for it to happen. South Africa is not officially seceding from itself, but in every other way, we are different countries, right? And those that take action and defend themselves and create opportunities for themselves outside of the state will be here for much longer and more prosperous and stronger than those who don't. The assumption that you live in a big city means you'll be defended against state eradication is not going to happen. You must take active steps yourself, ideally en masse, ideally at scale. Like your whole neighborhood must do it. Your whole community must do it. Your whole Gulf estate, if you choose to live there, must do it. But that requires collaboration with people around you. These people can be your allies.
Absolutely.
Don't live in your little bubble and think that you're going to get by.
The grand irony is that many people in the world still think that unification is the best way to go. I mean, they're still trying to push this whole Pan-African bullcrap as if that's somehow going to fix anything, apart from just another way to, have mass corruption. You may listen to us and go, oh, yeah, but what you guys are saying is just pure fiction and wishful thinking. There is an example of a succession that has already occurred. In practice, the Western Cape is seceded from South Africa. It has its own police force. It has its own bylaws. It has its own independent everything. They're trying to get independent electricity. They've got their own reservoirs. They've got their own water supplies. The Western Cape has ceded from South Africa.
That's part 2 of our Collapse of South Africa series. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about crime and criminal syndicates, basically cutting the knees of all the most important state-owned enterprises. So why not subscribe? You can watch that tomorrow. Thanks for watching.